Hello, you're watching a special exclusive interview program on TVBS. I'm Ting Liu. We are very honored to have the CEO of Nvidia, Mr. Jensen Huang, back on set with us today at TVBS. We will be talking about AI development, current affairs, and of course, AI infrastructure. Welcome back to Taiwan.
Thank
Jensen.
you. I'm delighted to be here. Always so happy to come to Taiwan.
So first question first. Reflecting on your Computex keynote speech, what are some of the key points you want to emphasize to our audience here?
The big points are, if you take a step back, that AI technology has evolved very quickly. Understanding, generative AI, and now we're in the world of reasoning AI, AI agents, and then very soon, robotics. And so the technology is evolving very quickly, and it's going to integrate into all kinds of applications and services, and it'll be important for every industry, from healthcare to education to manufacturing to you name it. So every industry will be enhanced, accelerated, transformed by AI. But the big idea, I think when you think about it, the big idea is that AI is not going to only transform all these industries. AI in itself will be a new manufacturing industry. Just as we manufacture cars and electronics and PCs, and we manufacture energy, we produce energy, now we're going to produce artificial intelligence. And these artificial intelligence will be produced in these large factories. I call them AI factories. And we're building one here in Taiwan in partnership with Foxconn and with the support of TSMC and the Taiwan government. We're going to build an AI factory, a gigantic one, starting with 20 megawatts, but of course growing to about 100 megawatts. And we're going to build that AI factory to support the local industry and the local society. University researchers, scientists, startups, companies, industry will all be able to use these AI factories so that they could transform themselves with artificial intelligence. So first of all, the big idea that there will be AI factories. We're at the beginning of building these AI factories. We're probably couple of $100 billion into building these AI factories. Over the course of the next 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised to see trillions of dollars of AI factories built around the world. So that's the first big idea. The second big idea is that there'll be two types of AIs that are incredibly useful and quite general purpose. The first is AI agents. And these AI agents will be basically in companies helping us do work. There'll be a an AI agent for customer service, an AI agent for software programming, an AI agent for chip design, AI agent for supply chain management. And these AI agents are really clever. They can understand, reason, plan, and take action, and use tools. And so AI agents. But then I spoke about the next big industry, and this is going to be very, very large, humanoid robots. We finally have the ability, we have the convergence of all these technologies necessary for us to build humanoid robots. And that's going to be extremely important for Taiwan for a couple of reasons. The first reason is just manufacturing the humanoid robots. Taiwan is incredibly good at electronics manufacturing. And so this is the next generation of electronics manufacturing. You're very good at building PCs, servers. Now you could also build humanoid robots. The next reason is because Taiwan is the home of one of the largest electronics manufacturing sites. The region is rich with electronics manufacturing. And so very quickly, we'll have robotic systems helping us with manufacturing as well. And so Taiwan will build robots, and Taiwan will use robots and amplify its limited workforce and grow the economy. So I think that's a very important time for Taiwan, and I'm very excited by all the developments.
I'm very glad you brought up the latest partnership you have with Foxconn, TSMC, and the Taiwan government when you talk about building this AI supercomputer. So I'm actually curious, how does a model would look like, and how would it inspire similar initiatives in other regions?
Well, every region is already quite inspired to build AI infrastructure. You might have seen some of the news reporting that I was just in the Middle East, and Saudi Arabia is going to build a very significant infrastructure, something along the lines of 500 megawatts or so. and the UAE is going to build 5 gigawatts. And just to put it in perspective, every gigawatt is $50 billion of Nvidia systems. $50 billion. And those $50 billion of computing systems will need energy, and it will produce enormous amounts of AI. And those AIs will be monetized, dollars per million tokens. And so it's going to generate very significant revenues. The observation for many countries is that when they have excess energy, instead of exporting raw energy, they can now export refined energy that is into artificial intelligence. Now here in Taiwan, one of the things that we really need the Taiwanese government to help us do is to provision more energy so that we can build a new industry. The current industries include chip plants and packaging and, of course, electronics manufacturing. And when you manufacture things, it requires energy.
Yeah.
And the energy is transformed into the local economy and GDP. We have a new industry now, and this new industry is called AI. The first use case of the AI is for the companies like TSMC and Quanta and MediaTek and Foxconn. They're using it to build AI models. They're using it for AI models for products that they sell, as well as AI to automate their manufacturing, or in the case of TSMC, to explore the future of semiconductor physics. And the second use case is education and research. Researchers here in Taiwan really needs a lot of AI infrastructure. It is impossible to do AI research without AI factories, without AI supercomputers. All of the schools in Taiwan absolutely must incorporate AI into its curriculum. The best way to be prepared for the future of AI is to use AI now. Every student should be encouraged to use AI. And I'm really hoping that the government would subsidize the use of AI for from the first moment in school all the way through high school and college, to provide that capability for all of the students. And then lastly, the established companies. It could be in financial services or healthcare or telecommunications. All of those companies need to have access to AI infrastructure. This is going to be the largest AI supercomputer built in Taiwan. We're going to start with 20 megawatts this year, and we need to quickly grow to 100 megawatts. But the limitation is just the availability of energy, and I really hope that the Taiwanese government could support us with that.
Your recent announcement on building the new Nvidia Taiwan HQ, also known as the Nvidia Constellation, has generated a lot of excitement.
Is that right?
In Taiwan. Indeed.
Is that right?
Yes, indeed.
We've been here for so long. How come everybody's excited?
I think it's the scale that we are looking at, especially when we bring up AI infrastructure and AI factories, because we are talking about this whole holistic kind of model that we are looking at right now. But I'm just curious, what kind of talent you are looking to recruit from Taiwan and the rest of the world?
Like I said, we've been in Taiwan a long time, and we have a lot of great employees here. The last couple of years, the number of partners we have here in Taiwan has grown tremendously. They've grown tremendously in helping us manufacture our technology. Our technology went from chips, GPUs. The Grace Blackwell systems are 2 tons, not a few ounces. It's 2 tons, 1.2 million parts. It's incredible. Each system is $2 to $3 million. Previously, each chip is $100.
Yeah.
So the things that we're building has changed tremendously, and the number of partners here in the Taiwan ecosystem that is necessary to support us, and we're so proud of them, and they've done such a great job for us. Their technology, their craft, their dedication, their flexibility, their customer service orientation, their partnership. I've known them for so long, and now we have 350 partners here working with us in Taiwan. And so we need more employees. The types of employees that Nvidia hires is always, the best that we can find, and we're fortunate that young engineers and young researchers really enjoy working at Nvidia. I'm a good boss for engineers. I'm a good boss for researchers, and so So I think we're going to continue to attract, but there's no significant change. It's just that our current office is just too small now.
Okay, so now if Taiwan is a proving ground, I would imagine the NVLink Fusion, which you unveiled at Computex, is actually one of the toolkits that will be used. So how does NVLink Fusion platform reflect on your strategy to actually foster a stronger and more open AI ecosystem?
Yeah, really great. Currently, the way that you buy Nvidia is of course, we design, we architect, we design the entire AI factory, from the GPU to the CPU, to the switches, to the networking chips, and there are 3 types of networking chips and 3 types of switches, and all of that is integrated into an AI factory. Lots of software, lots of systems work, and we do that in collaboration with all of our partners. Once we design everything integrated so that we can optimize it, then we tear it apart and sell it to you in parts. And this way, we can sell it to AWS, and they're really proud of the work that we do together. We can sell it to Azure, and Microsoft Satya just announced yesterday that they were the first CSP, first hyperscaler, to have GB200 and 4,000 GB200 systems put up and running now. And OpenAI is already using GB200s. And of course, Google uses NVIDIA's GB200, and they're so proud. And Sundar was really gracious to complement the work that we do together. And Gemini Pro are running on TPUs as well as NVIDIA's architecture. And so we can work with any cloud service provider because we can break apart this holistic AI system. But we want to do even more than that because some companies want to build their own CPU, and some companies want to build their own networking, and some companies want to build their own ASIC accelerator. And so today, you really can buy NVIDIA systems when it's part of this AI factory, the NVIDIA architecture. With NVLink Fusion, we could extend our ecosystem so that even when they design some of their own chips, we can have our ecosystem integrated into them. And so together, we're really fusing the NVIDIA ecosystem and the partners ecosystem. The perfect example is actually Fujitsu. You know, Fujitsu is a 100-year-old computing company. They've been here as long as IBM. And they are the computer ecosystem, the computing platform of Japan. And the Fujitsu ecosystem and their computing platform starts with their own CPU. But they would like to add AI to it. And in order to do that, they want to choose the world's best AI ecosystem. And so because of NVLink Fusion, Fujitsu CPU can connect with NVIDIA's GPU and fuse together over NVLink Fusion. And as a result, our 2 ecosystems can combine. And we can bring AI to Japan. So it's an excellent strategy.
That brings up more flexibility in the equation, I would imagine.
We make it possible for every company to be able to buy something from NVIDIA. We are a simple, practical, company. We would love that you buy everything from us. But we are so pleased if you buy anything from us.
Okay, I wanted to move on to a more serious question when we talk about the ongoing shift of semiconductor manufacturing back to the US soil due to tariffs. So that has created a bit of rather uneasiness within the Taiwanese ecosystem. So just wondering whether you have any word of advice or encouragement for your Taiwanese ecosystem partners, and how will you deepen the relationship going forward?
It's important to take a step back and look at what is President Trump's larger vision. And the larger vision is founded on very important changes in the world. It is true that semiconductors and AI is going to become much more integrated into the world's infrastructure. And so it's important that the supply chain is more diversified and more resilient. There's redundancy and there's diversification so that the supply chain could be resilient. And very importantly, it's important that the critical infrastructure in the United States could be reindustrialized so that some manufacturing could be done in the United States for the United States, its own resilience and national security. Yeah. And so I think that the vision is spot on. And I would say that it also happened at exactly the right time. And the reason for that is very clear, that because of NVIDIA's AI initiative and all the AI infrastructure that we're building, the whole electronics ecosystem is growing very fast. And at a time when we're growing, we're building many, many plants. And so NVIDIA's industrialization or manufacturing in the United States allowed us to bring our partners to the United States so that they could expand their footprint. So now TSMC can expand their footprint in the United States. Foxconn, Wistron, Amkor, SPIL. We're bringing our partners and expanding their opportunity in the United States. Meanwhile, the consumption here in Taiwan is still so high and it's continuing to grow. And so the timing is right. The timing is just right. We're going to have plenty of growth.
So we expect to see growth on both sides in that sense?
Yeah, I expect to see growth, very, very high growth on both sides.
One thing is that you mentioned previously that Nvidia is going to build up to $500 billion of AI infrastructure on US soil. Just wondering whether you can further elaborate on how this could be done.
Well, $500 billion, if you look at Nvidia today, it would not be surprising if we're already a couple of $100 billion company.
Yeah.
And over 4 years, $500 billion is not unlikely. The world is going to build, over the next 10 years, many $1 trillion worth of AI factories. The build out has only just begun. And you can test it. It's very easy to, in fact, test this assumption. If you look at any data center today, it's very traditional. You walk into every data center, it's very traditional. And yet, and anywhere, here in Taiwan, anywhere in the world, you just walk into a random data center and you see it's very traditional. General purpose computers, CPUs, the old way. Yeah. And we know that the new way is going to be AI. And so the world has 60 years of computing infrastructure that has been built that is now reset. So we have 60 years to rebuild, hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years. So over the next 10 years, the amount of AI infrastructure we have to build is extraordinary, utterly shocking. But on top of that, we're going to build AI factories. And so the combination of the reset of the way computing is done and also building these new AI factories, we're going to see fairly significant growth opportunities, for these factories over the years.
The United States aimed to build an all-American-made supercomputer in the US. And beyond hardware, it also required talents, I would believe. So do you think that the US will be able to continue to attract and retain top talents and people needed to do this job well?
Well, first of all, the United States is the land of extraordinary talent.
Yeah.
And I was born in Taiwan. My father had a vision that we would build our lives in the United States. And the opportunities that I was able to receive and all of my colleagues that I'm surrounded by and the vibrant entrepreneurial innovation, pioneering spirit of Americans cannot be ever underestimated. And I think America remains an extraordinary place. And I have the opportunity to travel the world. The talent in the United States is unparalleled. The ambition is unparalleled. And so when President Trump decided to to reindustrialize America, that vision I think is an excellent vision and at the perfect time. And I think the challenge is real. The fact of the matter is, the United States had stopped manufacturing for quite some time. And so that is a real challenge. It is the case that we need more energy. And so for many years, at least the last 4 years, the previous administration has been quite concerned about adding more energy into the country.
Yeah.
And yet, in order to support a new industry, we need energy. And so it's at exactly the wrong time. And so finally, President Trump's pro-energy increase of all forms, everything from sustainable energy to nuclear to hydrogen to fossil fuel, every single form of energy is going to be necessary to enable this new industry to grow. And so his pro-energy attitude and his pro-energy policies and his pro-energy encouragement for the country is really important. And so I think the timing is perfect. But like you say, the skills have, for some decades, left the country. And but United States will have to move fast. And everything from construction to craft, the skilled labor, electricians, plumbers, mechanicals, carpenters, the whole thing. We're going to need a lot of skilled labor in the United States. Probably, if I were to guess, several 100,000 in the near future to support all the AI factories we have to build. And so that's a great opportunity.
I want to continue this conversation on, because you have been traveling a lot recently, engaging various governments, especially on when we talk about infrastructure development. So I'm going to move on to China right now. So given the current additional export controls, how would Nvidia navigate its relationship with the Chinese AI market and your partners there?
Well, this is one area that I would really love for the president and the administration to reconsider. Export control, if you examine the results of the export control, I think it is clear that it was not effective. At the time, 4 years ago, at the beginning of the last administration, Nvidia's market share in China was 95%. Our market share is now 50%. The hope or the goal of the administration was to slow the progress of AI in China. But there's no evidence of that. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. China has 50% of the world's AI researchers. The single largest population of researchers in the world. And they will advance AI. And there's no question that DeepSeek is a real contribution to the world. It's a gift to the world. I don't know any AI researcher that didn't read it. And the innovation that's inside DeepSeek is extraordinary. It's not just copying technology. This is unique and genuinely good innovation. QN models from Alibaba is excellent. And so there's no question that AI research in China will progress. If we're not there, somebody else will fill the spot. And there's every evidence that because of export control, we've lost half of our market share. And so I think the spirit of the export control policy has proven not to have been effective. The goals are not achieved. And now, at least President Trump realized that China is now here. And they have the ability to scale. It's not logical to hold back, and the ability to hold back a country like China. This is a country with great aspirations, incredible talent, incredible might, and incredible will. And so now the time is here, and AI is ready to diffuse, to proliferate to all countries, and every country would like to have AI. And so the president is wise in recognizing that the AI diffusion policy that was written at the end of the last administration is almost precisely wrong. Instead of limiting American AI diffusion, it should be maximizing AI diffusion. And the export control, we should recognize that China has the world's largest population of AI researchers. And we want Chinese AI researchers, every AI researcher on the planet, to develop on American technology. Because if not, what gets diffused around the world is not going to be American technology. And so I think it's sensible that AI diffusion, the reversal of the AI diffusion policy, would go hand in hand with the reversal of export control. It is not so at the moment, but I hope that it would change.
Are there new tailored solutions for Nvidia for the China market, and how do you ensure continued partnership and growth there?
Well, the export control is not a sanction. It's just an export control. The export control specifies limits. Yeah. President Trump has been very clear that he would like Nvidia to sell as many chips as possible around the world. But it obviously has to comply with policies. And so in the case of H20, we don't know of any more ideas to make H20 suitable for or versions of it suitable for the Chinese market. And so at this point, we've decided to write off multiple $billion of chip inventory. Now, to put in perspective, most semiconductor companies is only a few $billion. We're going to write off the equivalent of entire semiconductor companies in just one quarter. And so it's very painful. We've lost a lot of money. And the revenue opportunity that it was going after is going to cost the United States a lot of taxes and cost Nvidia a lot of revenues. But it is what it is. And so currently what we're trying to do, there's very limited options now. H20 was our last idea. And so I have to go back to the drawing board and think of new ideas. I don't have anything obvious at the moment, but we're committed to the China market. We've been there for 30 years. China has treated Nvidia incredibly well, and it's been a wonderful market for us. We have many partners there. They depend on us, and it has been a great joy and a great honor to have served that market. And there will never be another China market. The idea that the China market could be replaced by growth somewhere else is not really logical. You know, that market is vibrant and it's very dynamic, and walking away from that market would be a real shame.
Are you still optimistic about healthy competition?
Healthy competition? All the competition I've enjoyed so far is healthy. You know, China competes, if that's what you're talking about. There are startups. There's 50 startups. Huawei is one of the most formidable technology companies in the world. They just had a record year.
Yeah.
And the technology that they're putting out and this new cloud matrix AI supercomputer is, on paper, better than Nvidia's. Higher performance than Nvidia's state-of-the-art. And so this is a formidable company that we have to really take with great respect and put forth our best effort. It's also important to realize that, and this is very important to AI diffusion, the next generation of telecommunication standards, the technology today is called 5G, but the next generation 6G is going to be built on AI. Yeah. And so the infrastructure that is diffused around the world and the country that diffuses that technology will have a leadership position in the next generation of telecommunications. This is very, very important to keep an eye on. And of course, Huawei has been very clear that their intention is to fuse 5G and 5G and AI. And so it's very visionary. It's exactly the right thing to do. And we're doing the same thing. But we have to race fast. Yeah.
In that case, how can American companies like Nvidia continue to maintain its edge and succeed globally?
Well, the ability to compete is the first part.
Yeah.
I have every confidence we can compete. You know the Nvidia's technology and the velocity of our execution and our dedication to our work is second to none. And I have every confidence that if given the permission to compete, we will compete. If given the opportunity to win, we will win. And if given the opportunity to serve that market, we will do so.
Okay. So A very interesting concept that you brought up is that the last 10 years is actually the science of AI, whereas the next decade is actually the application science of AI. And we're actually seeing that more people are having their hands and direct access towards AI. So I'm just curious, could you share your vision on AI for the next 5 to 10 years? How would it be like?
The easiest idea for the next 10 years for AI is just to think that AI is going to be like robots. You're going to have digital robots. Digital robots are called AI agents. They're called agents because they have agency, meaning that they can understand the goals, it can apply tools, it can reason about how to solve the problem. As you know, reasoning is the ability to apply rules and things that you've learned in the past to solve problems that you've never seen in the past. You reason about solving a new problem. And as a result, you don't have to learn everything up front. You don't have to memorize everything up front. That we can engage new experiences and come up with good solutions. And so today we have AI agents. They're basically digital robots. And then we have physical robots coming. These two technologies I think will clearly have many applications. Wherever there's an application for us, now there's an application for agents and robots. Well, of course, every job will be changed. Every job will be reshaped. And there are people who are concerned that they might lose their jobs. And that's almost exactly the wrong answer. The right answer is you're likely to lose your job to someone who uses AI and someone who uses robots. And every company, every professional, everybody should learn to engage AI and make them companions and assistants and helpers and tutors and our teammates, and to help us become more productive, more successful. And so that I think at the highest level is the easiest concept. And as you know, there's shortage of labor in Taiwan. There's a shortage of labor all over the world. There's aging population. And in order for us to grow the world's GDP, it's currently at $100 trillion. In order for us to reach 120 trillion, 150 trillion, 200 trillion, we're not going to be able to do that with more people. And that's the reason why AI is going to be such an extraordinary thing. It's very logical to me that so long as we have the energy, that the next decade and 2 decades may be the best decades of all, and that we'll see more prosperity and more GDP growth, in more countries around the world than ever.
I like the idea that you brought up about the need and the must to engage AI as soon as we can, because that indeed not only improves productivity, it also makes people, like how when we work with things, there's somebody to help us with it. So, but I'm just curious because, like, for example, at TVBS, we actually have AI hackathons, and many companies in Taiwan do that too. But we're also facing an issue when we are talking about the working population, I would say maybe age, maybe 30 to 50, but people are facing they're not as agile as maybe a younger population in embracing new technology. So what advice would you have for this group of people, maybe age 30 to 60 or 65, on how to actually have their hands on into AI?
Give AI a chance to catch up to you. And let me tell you why. The AI technology has been improving maybe 1 million times in the last 10 years. And in the beginning, you have to be very clear to tell the AI what you want to do. But now, you could just tell AI what your goals are. Help me plan. Literally, just say, help me plan a vacation to, Osaka or Kyoto or south of Taiwan. I was exactly. I was kind of excited because previous to my trip to the Middle East, I was planning to go to the south of Taiwan and make my way up to
Taipei.
Yeah, Taipei. And so, anyways, I'll do that someday. I was really looking forward to that because I've been coming to Taiwan for many years after I left in the beginning, and yet I've never left Taipei. And I barely left this part of the city. I barely left this hotel. and I'm always working. Aside from here and going to see Morris and Hsinchu, I've never visited anywhere else in Taiwan. The thing that's really important is AI enables us to close the technology divide for the first time in history. And the reason for that is because up until now, the only people who know how to use a computer or can benefit from using or know how to program it. If you want to program a computer, you have to learn languages like Python and C and C++ and things like that. However, in order to use AI, you just have to talk to it. And now you could explain very simply what your goals are. I was just saying, plan a vacation. But instead of a vacation, it could be a marketing campaign. It could be my supply chain. And so you describe your goals, and the AI will go figure it out. The AI will understand your goals. It will break down the goals into step by step. It will reason. It will plan. It will maybe even simulate different outcomes and choose the best one. It will use necessary tools. It will even go to other AI agents to collaborate. And all of this, just from your simple explanation, help me plan the best supply or the best purchase order to my supply chain for this demand. And the AI will go off and break the job down. And so, as you can see, the way to communicate with the computer is higher and higher level. And it's more and more human.
Yeah.
And the lower level programming, the AI will do by itself. That's the big breakthrough. We've democratized technology. We've made the computer, which has been in service for people like me. 30 million people around the world have benefited from computers. Now, all 7 billion people can benefit from computers because of AI. We're going to democratize computing for the first time in history. Yeah.
I would imagine there's a concept of AI supervisor, because you have mentioned several times that AI is now writing AI, especially at Nvidia. And indeed, AI actually help people to better utilize their time. But the question is, in your opinion, how do people stay relevant in this new equation?
Well, you still need to have goals. We still need to have goals. I need to have goals. Remember, if you just use me as an example, my management team is about 50 people. They're the world's best at what they do. Every single person is better at what they do than I am at what they do. To me, they're AI. To me, they're super AI. But yet, I need to have overall goals that leads the company towards a direction. And so goal setting, evaluating, adjusting, all of those things, adjusting to changing conditions, all of those things are really quite hard for AI to do now. And I don't expect it to do in the future because it's our choice. My goals are my choice. If I want to go to a vacation in Kyoto, it's not because the AI decided, because I decided. It's my goal. And so this is the truth for, so we all need to have aspirations and goals. And now an AI will help us realize those aspirations and goals.
Do you think that artificial intelligence make people smarter or more dependent?
AI has made me smarter. And the reason for that is because I have tutors now. I use my AIs for tutoring every day. I have 3 AIs. I use ChatGPT a lot. I use Gemini Pro, and I use Perplexity. And these 3 AIs are excellent. And recently I've been using Grok as well. These are excellent AIs. And each one of them has their slightly different style. And so you just have to learn their style. Notice I have 4 AIs, not 1. And the reason for that is they all have different skills and different styles. And depending on what I want to do, I go to the right person. Just like depending on what I need to have done, I go to the right member of my management team. Yeah, same thing.
Okay, so for the next segment, I've actually taken the liberty of contacting 2 local students in Taiwan from 2 very different spectrums. one from studying humanities and one studying computer engineering. And I asked them what questions they have for you. We want to be interested to listen to what they have.
Sure.
Okay, so for the first one we have here, his name is Zhang Xunhao Chang. He's a first-year master student at the Graduate School of Computer Science and Information Engineering at National Taiwan University.
Excellent university.
So he has a pretty long question, but I'll just read out anyway. He said that his question is, you have spoken about the democratization of AI as a transformative force capable of spreading intelligence, opportunity, and capability around the world. Yet some observers raise concerns that such technologies, while powerful, might excavate the digital divide rather than to narrow it. So from your perspective, what must be done to ensure that this AI revolution serves the many rather than the few? And what challenges must be collectively overcome to make this vision a reality?
Democratizing AI is very important. It's absolutely true. It is the reason why every region, every country, everywhere needs to build AI infrastructure for their society. Every government needs to support building AI infrastructure for their society so that they democratize this capability for them, for their people. And so that's utterly vital. The AI diffusion policy should be about maximizing the diffusion of AI for the benefits of everyone. Democratize AI. And I believe very strongly about that. It is also the case, I'll give you two examples. One example is that ChatGPT is the most popular application in history, and it only took a couple of years. It can only be a popular application if it's useful and easy to use. Everybody's using ChatGPT. If you don't know how to use ChatGPT, you can even say, I don't know how to use ChatGPT. How do I use ChatGPT?
Yeah.
And it will explain it to you. It's so smart. And so AI democratizes technology. It democratizes access to knowledge. And the third thing I would say is one of my favorite examples, and this was a Google example actually, and I remember this was Jeff Dean, their chief scientist now, said that was giving an example of a cucumber farmer in Japan, and how the son taught an AI how to sort cucumbers. Well, here's a son, a high school student who downloaded some simple AI and helped the mother create a robot to sort cucumbers. And sorting cucumbers is very hard because her eyes, her sense of which one is a sushi cucumber, which is grocery cucumber, and which one is a cucumber that you should keep yourself to cook for dinner. Depending on which one of the cucumber shapes and sizes, they can attract different price, and the price could be quite different. So how do you teach an AI how to do that? Well, the high school student had no problem doing that. They democratized a technology for his mother that, quite frankly, until now, is impossible to do. You needed a real person to do it. And so that's another way, another example of perfect democratizing. It is the case, though it doesn't change the fact that we have to put AI infrastructure everywhere, which is the reason why I'm so passionate about putting AI infrastructure here in Taiwan. Yeah. Taiwan needs to have an AI factory. It needs to have AI infrastructure so that the whole industry and society could advance with AI, put it in the hands of everyone. So it's really important.
I love the fervor and the enthusiasm you have, in the things you have done for Taiwan. So moving on to the second part. So this is a question from Claire Tsai, or Cai Xinyu. She's a second-year master student doing a master's program in global communication and innovation technology at National Chengchi University. So she's from the humanities side. So her question is, many young people, particularly those in the humanities field, are facing the challenge of aligning with future industry trends in the age of AI. So how do you think that these students can apply AI technologies to the field of humanities and or life sciences to address future industries and transformations?
Well, my first and best recommendation is engage AI right now. I use AI to do research every day. I describe a fairly, complicated research to go do. And my AI goes off and reads a whole bunch of research papers, studies a whole bunch of websites, and does all kinds of reading. And it comes back and generates this report for me that's really elegant and really simple to understand. But the important thing is, it didn't just generate for me a PDF. It actually learned all those subjects. So now it's an expert in maybe quantum physics. Maybe it's an expert in digital biology. Maybe it's an expert, in sustainable energy. It's incredible. It comes back not just producing a research, but now this is an expert that I can talk to all the time. And I can interact with it because it's done a lot of research. And so for the humanities students, the life sciences students, you now have the world's best tool to advance your knowledge, to interact with, to dialogue, to brainstorm, to do research with. It's an incredible tool. Engage it right away.
I want to talk about your leadership style at Nvidia because I would say for the past 10, 20 years, before we have this whole big AI breakthrough, it really means that you need to persevere, to believe in a vision, and also to lead a huge member team that you are working with. So I'm just curious, what are some of your core leadership values within Nvidia and to ensure Nvidia's success and continuous success?
Well, at the core, Nvidia's mission and my mission is one and the same. Is to make a contribution to build things that are incredibly hard to do, that no one else in the world is doing or can do, and that if we succeed in the unlikely chance that we succeed, that we make a real contribution, that we change the world in some better way. And so that is at the core of everything that we do. Everything that we do is hard. That's why it took 30 years. Robotics, AI we've been working on for almost 15. Robotics, 10. Self-driving cars, 10.
Yeah.
Quantum classical computing, 5. The list goes on. Digital biology, 10. The list of examples of things that we've been pursuing, enduring, for long list. And I think the way to think through that is, one, what is possible. It's important that the CEO chooses endeavors that are nearly possible. And for me, nearly possible is about 10 years. And if I can achieve something and make it mainstream within 10 years, it's time for us to really go and pursue it. And so I like the 10-year horizon for success, and it gives me many chances to go and learn and iterate. And so in order to do that, 10 years out, you need to be able to see around corners, connect dots, and have an imagination about what the 10 years from now looks like. And for us, this is not 10 years for a mature technology company. This is 10 years for a pioneering company. So for most companies, that would be like 15 years, 20 years away. And so we really have to live in the future. And the CEO, the leaders of our company, we have to reason about what's possible and what's worthwhile for us to go pursue. And then after that, you just have to reevaluate your reasons. I double check my assumptions all the time, continuously, because my assumptions and the principles by which I arrive at certain strategies or conclusions or directions, those things are really fundamental. And so I have to go back and reevaluate continuously. Did my assumptions, the assumptions that I make, were they based on facts that are now different? The principles that I was using to determine the future, has that changed? And are they still sound? Are they really sound first principles, or were only temporal at the time? And so I've got to reevaluate all of that continuously. And if it's true, and I believe what I believe, then there's no reason to change, and just keep pursuing it.
And finally, if there's anything I haven't asked and you want to add extra points, especially for your Taiwanese audience and beyond. Well,
I would say that I've been coming to Taiwan now for 30 years. And in fact, I came back 30 years ago after leaving 5 years when I was 5 years old. So I was gone for a long time, and I came back to visit and see Morris, and since then I've developed friendships and partnerships with many companies here who have helped me build Nvidia. And in a lot of ways, building Nvidia has created the future of computing. We have reinvented computing. We have reinvented the future. And building Nvidia wouldn't have been possible without all of my partners and friends here in Taiwan. And so I've always had a very, very fun and very deep appreciation for all the people that have helped me here, and their friendship and partnership and their support over the years. And so that's the reason why I love coming here.
Thank you for speaking with TVBS.
Thank you.
Thank you. So before we end the interview, I actually have something for you that I prepared. Let me just put it on the table. So I have prepared 2 presents for you, and hopefully you will like it.
Wow.
Okay, so for the first one here, okay, because I know that you like Scotch whiskey.
I do like Scotch whiskey.
So I actually prepared really very special whiskey glasses for you. And what makes this very unique is that there is Yushan. This is the Jade Mountain of Taiwan.
Wow.
It symbolizes resilience and and of course Taiwan. So it's 2 different colors.
Wow, thank you.
And thank you for what you have done in Taiwan.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And for the second present, it's rather interesting, is that because I see that you actually drink tea too. So sorry, let me put this here. I actually prepared really special tea leaves that comes in the shape of a goldfish tea bag.
Oh
so
my God.
I know that your Thai is very good.
My God.
So I'm not sure whether you ever heard of this. So there is the whiskey. Yeah, and the tea bags. So it actually also means that it's a Taiwanese idiom that also talks like, when you drink, it bottoms up.
Oh, that's incredibly beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for the interview.
No,
you were
thank you.
incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you asked all the right questions.
Thank you so much. I'm very flattered to hear that, because I have been...
And the audience would enjoy it, I think.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll keep that.
Okay, you guys done? I need to probably go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was a great interview.
Thank you so much. I'm really very flattered to hear that. Thank you.
Should we take a group photo?
Yes.
Team photo? Come on, team photo. Come on. Oh, no, I wasn't. I was just wondering where. No, don't worry. No fault. This is.
One by one.
我们先来。
Autograph.
Yeah. Hang on a second. This is
Yeah, this is.
to TVBS, right?
Yeah.